Hey, are you ready to start your very first YouTube video? Think about it for a moment. Every single creator, all 65 million of us, all started with no subscribers, and we had to shoot that very first video. Hi, this is old Mike. Old me living better. If you ain't dead, you ain't done. I started my YouTube channel at 80 years old last year. If I can do it, so can you. You can do that very first video. In this video, I want to share with you 5 things that I think will help you in doing your first video. It has nothing to do with the technical aspects of lighting, cameras, microphones, and all of that. It has more to do with you sitting down behind the camera and having some sense of comfort, some sense of confidence in what you're going to do. So here's my 5 tips. The first one is find a topic. Embrace a topic that you're familiar with, that you really know well. The first topic for my first video was my theme, my motto: if you ain't dead, you ain't done. It's something that I've lived for 30 years. If a stranger stopped me on the street and say, "Hey, old Mike, can you tell me what does it mean if you ain't dead, you ain't done?" Man, I could give them a 5-minute version or a 30-minute version of my explanation of what that means. If I'm at a restaurant talking to somebody asks me about that theme, man, I can give them that description and what it means off the top of my head. I don't need notes. I don't need an outline. So my advice is when you're doing your very first video, make sure it's on a topic or a subject that you're really familiar with, and you don't have to think about it very long. Yeah, you might want to read from a script or an outline or whatever, whatever your comfort level is there. I never use a script, but I have notes that I follow. But if you know your topic, you have a lot of confidence sitting in front of the camera. Number 2 is find your place of comfort. Now, I'm shooting this in my YouTube studio, which is a corner of my living room. But behind me, you see the edge of it, is my favorite chair. My very first video I shot in that chair. That's because I love that chair. I feel comfortable in that chair. I feel comfortable in this living room. If you feel comfortable in your car or out by a lake or walking or whatever it is, shoot there. Shoot in a place of safety where there's not a lot of distraction, but mostly where you feel comfortable. When I sit in my easy chair, I'm in my comfort zone. So that very first video, I was in my comfort zone. So find your place of comfort to shoot that first video. Number 3 is really important. Get it out of your mind that you're talking to millions of people. No, you're talking to one person, face to face. That's number 3. Keep in mind that you're doing face-to-face, one-on-one. It's just you and me talking right now. You're the only one. I love it. It's like we're at lunch. Matter of fact, I advise people, pretend you're at lunch with your best friend and you're just having a conversation with them. That's the wonderful way to do it. When I sit in front of camera now, I don't see a lot of different people. I just see you. One person. It takes a little bit of the apprehension out of it that I've got to be perfect and everybody's going to get upset with me and all the stuff that goes through your head. Pretend that you're talking to your best friend at lunch. That works for me anyway. Number 4 is breathing or finding your pace. I can't tell you how many creators I watched their videos. It's like they just got through jogging or running or something, and they're all out of breath and whatever. And then there's others that looks like they just woke up from a nap. Don't do your first video after you've jogged or when you just get up from a nap. No, find a pace. Don't talk fast. Don't talk slow. Whatever your natural rhythm is, that's usually going to be your best pace on your first video. In other words, you need to get out of your mind that you're not doing a performance. I think that's the key. A lot of times I sit in front of the camera, I think I'm performing. No, you're not performing. You're just sitting down and you're talking. You don't have to impress anybody. There's a lot of people who won't be impressed with you no matter what you do, right? So just sit there, find your comfort zone, your comfortable place, spend some time getting familiar with the camera in the very beginning, and then simply go at a pace that is comfortable to you. The last tip is you push record, but that's not the end. Matter of fact, I've got a few more tips after you push record. And if you stayed this long through the video, this may be the most useful for you. It certainly has been for me. So in the first, I'm going to say anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes, depending on how I'm feeling. I turn the camera on and I just sit there. I get comfortable with the camera. I adjust my beard. I adjust my hat. I even have an old Mike's brush. I go through all of that while I'm on the camera. That helps me get comfortable behind the camera. I drink a couple of sips of coffee. It's so important to get comfortable behind the camera. The second thing is I pose. Now, I'm not a poser, but if you saw the thumbnail for this video, you'll notice that was me posing. On the video, I actually pose. I take several different angles for all of my thumbnails, and I have a thumbnail creator that I pay, and I also do about half of my thumbnails myself. But part of my brand is my face and my hat on my thumbnail. So at the beginning of every single video, I do the warm up process, and then I go through several poses that either my thumbnail creator or I can use on the thumbnail. It really works great. Number three, after you push the record button, your opening. Did you know for this video, I had a little problems with my camera. It's actually the third time I've shot the video. I've got it memorized by now. But I also do 2 or 3 openings. That's right, that first 30 seconds of the video. Have you done your first video yet? So I go through 3, 4, sometimes 5 openings. And then in the editing process, I pick the very best opening. Your editor becomes your best friend. You need to get familiar with your editor. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of YouTube videos on the various editors. But as a YouTube creator, you need to be familiar with an editor, because my last tip is that you never turn the camera off. And if you never turn the camera off, unless you're going to do it with one take, and there's a lot of people that can do that, then you're going to have to do some editing. The reason I never turn the camera off is pretty obvious by now, is that, I do my opening, my posing, all of the things that I do. And then during the video, maybe I'll look over here at my laptop where I have my notes and I get distracted. I can go back and I can cut that out. Or I drink too much coffee and I take too much time. I can edit those out. Or if I got pauses, I can edit those out. I have found for me, I've done it both ways. I've turned the camera off, turned the camera on, turned the camera off, turned the camera on. But then you got to drop all of those videos in and put them on your timeline, and it doesn't have the flow that it does if you just leave your camera on. Don't worry about it. Leave your camera on. You can deal with all of that in the editor. That's it. Maybe ask for comments along the way. I'm not very good at asking for comments. I always forget to. But if you want to comment on this video, have you started your YouTube video yet? Have you done your very first one? If you have, what was it like? Did you learn anything from this? If you haven't started your first video yet, let me know. And when you do, let me know. I'd love to go take a look at it. Remember, I started my video 11 months ago, September of 2024. I have almost 30,000 subscribers. I got tons of comments, lots of shares, a wonderful community of people. And I love every one of my subscribers. You never know what's going to happen when you push that record button. You never know whose life you may change or you may affect. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to be able to help people and encourage and inspire. Whatever the reason that you're doing your YouTube channel and your very first video, you never know. Matter of fact, I've had comments on that first video of mine where people have really been encouraged and inspired. If you ain't dead, you ain't done. It's a great theme, right? Push the record button. Get going. You never know where you'll be in 11 months. This is Old Mike, Old Me Living Better. I'll see you next time.